exactly what to do. This. All right,
There you
recordings
go.
in progress. We've got, this is Role Play Wednesday. And we have Mr. Kerry Kennedy who lives not too far from me in Pinehurst, North Carolina. He's in Boone County, but I think he's in Florida right now, right? Right, Kerry?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And Kerry called me up today. He said, and this is the music to my ears. This is the stuff I live for. Kerry, can I show the check? I blacked out the
Sure.
account number and everything like that. You guys want to see something motivating? Come on, wake up. Come on,
Yeah.
have some coffee, everybody here. Take a sip. Come on, wake up. Okay, let me show you guys something. Let's see if I can do this. Should be pretty easy. There we go. How's that for a payday?
Nice job.
Nice job. Let's give him a round of applause. Look at that. Isn't that a lovely check?
That's the commission.
That's the net.
Wow.
That's one deal that Kerry did. Kerry's going to tell Kerry and I spoke this morning. He sent this to me, and I love sharing good news. So I wanted to Kerry to tell his story. Kerry's an investor, like all of us. He's made mistakes. He has had successes. Funny thing is, I think 2021 was his best year. This was only one deal. He did many other deals. And I know this is Role Play Wednesday, but I always love hearing about other people's success stories. How about you guys?
Yeah.
I love it, because if they did it, you can do it on there. So anyway, congratulations, Kerry. I'm going to change your name again. Kerry, what did you do in that deal to make such an enormous commission check there?
Well, in Boone, North Carolina, I mean, the appreciation rates have really gone crazy. The market is just going crazy. It's a resort town, a lot of skiing, a lot of outdoor stuff. And we bought that house about 2 years ago for like a long-term hold. We paid $90,000 for it. We had a renter in there for about 1.5 years. We needed some cash because we've been doing some other rehab projects, and we put it on the market for $239,900. Took about 6 weeks, but we got a cash buyer, and we finally settled on $225,000. He wanted some additional work done, so we factored that into the price. And it took us about 6 weeks to finish the work. But one thing is, this guy drove up in his Mercedes, and his wife was wearing $3,500 boots. We got to the closing day. I got a call from the closing attorney and said there's no money. So I said, okay, but based on the North Carolina contract, I had to give him 7 days to close. The first thing I said, well, it's going to cost you $10,000 more, and but luckily the next day the wire came and we closed and I got my check. But it's just, good appreciation rates, good markets, people coming from out of town, wanting something. This guy was an Austria businessman. His agent told me that he had Airbnbs all over the world, and I guess he was looking for this particular area. Well,
that's round of applause. Nice going. So this was just one deal. And I'm going to ask you a few questions and opening you up to the group a little bit, because I know these people want to pick your brain on this. I mean, this one deal, $120,000. How did you find this deal? That was the first thing that came to my mind. Where did you use a realtor, or you use realtors a lot, don't you?
Well, my particular, it's a funny thing. My wife and I, we joke about this. Most of the deals we have found ourselves. And basically Well, Realtor.com, she sends me the feeds and everything, and then we just pretty much, we find the right one. We put the offer in and then we go from there. However, this particular deal, we put the offer in, we lost.
Was this a cash offer, a lease purchase, a subject to?
This was conventional financing because
Okay.
I have a banker in Tennessee that I have developed a track record with, a good relationship, and he will loan me 85% of these fix-up houses.
At what cost, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, I've got them to 15% down, and the interest rate is 3.8%, and we go for 25 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it works out pretty well. He doesn't escrow, so that saves on some closing costs too.
Could you repeat that? I apologize. Talked over you there on those numbers.
Say again?
Could you repeat those numbers?
Let's see. I paid him 3.8%, 15% down, and we go for 25 years. And then we don't escrow, so that so that kind of helps on the closing costs. It's a local bank. I guess you would call them a portfolio lender, because they keep all their loans. They don't they don't sell loans on the secondary market. So so they really don't have to follow Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac that much. So they keep them in house.
How important is it to have your own private banker?
Very important, because you get a lot of no's, because nobody, the house has got to be in pristine condition. Nothing's got to be fixed. Maybe a little cosmetic stuff, paint, carpet, but from what I do, there's no walls, there's no bathrooms. He doesn't even come out and look at the property. I just tell him how much I need and go from there.
So is this your favorite strategy? I call this the cash is king. You're using OPM, other people's money. You have a private lender or a partner. You're good. Is your skill, you can sniff out deals.
Right.
You know how to find that. You know how to find deals. You're good.
Well,
That's my skill.
And my wife is always, she loves to talk to people. So she's talking to people.
Say that again. Wait, because that sounds like something I said on Monday. Say that again, please.
My wife loves to talk to people. She's always talking to people.
How important is it to talk to people every day to find these kind of deals?
Yep, every single day.
Thank you.
We're talking to people, talking to realtors, bringing us deals.
So I got two takeaways here. First of all, you use one realtor or several realtors to help you find these deals.
Several realtors. I got realtors in like 3 different counties, because I'm looking in 3 different areas.
And you put them to work. You tell them what you're looking for. Could you just share with the group what kind of instructions do you give these realtors for the type of deals you're looking for these enormous profits? And for those of you just joining, this is Mr. Kerry Kennedy, Boone County, North Carolina. He just did a deal, and can I share your check again with I'd like to share it, but can I show it?
Sure.
One more time. Here, there it is.
120,000. Good job. Wow.
That beats working for a living, doesn't it? And that's just one deal. I don't know if Kerry wants to share how many deals he did in 2021. This is just one little deal he did.
Yeah,
this man and his wife talk to people, and they use realtors. And so we talk away. So what's the instruction exactly you give to the realtors?
We're looking for deals. We do not pay retail. We pay cash. We can close quickly. Fix up between, stuff that needs work. It can be a lot, it can be a little, it really doesn't matter. Just bring them to us, and we can close.
And okay, that's number one. So you're putting other people to work for you. other realtors going out there searching. That's number one. Number two, you, I don't know if you like to use, you and I have spoken about using other strategies, lease purchase subject to wholesaling, but I think you prefer the cash is king because you have a funder.
Well, it just depends on, it just seems I've kind of leaned toward the fix and flips. I'd like to do, own or carry. I've done subject to, I've done lease purchases. But the lease purchases, I did a lot of those in the past. But it just seems the way this market's going and the way the prices are up there that, just the fix and flips, seems to be where I've landed.
Well, it seems to me when there's a lot of different offers and different leverage strategies, which we talk about. But it seems to me when you go to somebody and say, I'm ready to do business today, I have the cash today.
Right.
I think that's a big stick, man. I think that makes you pretty powerful.
And then I follow a formula. I follow, the after repaired value times 70% minus repairs. That's my offer amount. And then I go from there and I stick to it, and then you're not going to get burned that way because there's enough equity built in. You can't, pay retail and make a profit, because, the old word is, you make money when you buy, not when you sell.
Okay.
Hey, Carrie,
That's true, yeah.
Carrie, what do you use for your comps then when you're, looking at your 70%? The MLS?
Realtors, MLS, Zillow, Trulia. Sometimes I will get appraisals. Sometimes the bank, the particular bank that I use, they'll want an appraisal. But I've been there long enough. I know the area. I can, pretty much judge. And then I'll have a couple realtors check me.
You like backyard deals, Kerry?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we where we particularly live, we bought this little roundhouse for $90,000, put about 30 in, sold it for $215. That was a 6-week turnaround.
Wow. Yeah, could you take Jessica has a question, and after she's done, could you share maybe some other, you've had a particularly good year, 2021. Maybe you could share some of the other deals you did this year too. Jessica, you go ahead.
Oh, yes. I just wondered how much state and federal tax you would pay on that check. I would assume you'd have to pay
It's kind of a
tax.
personal question, isn't it?
No, that
Check is
That's the question.
personal too. But we're
that's
getting
going to be
personal here.
that's going to be a short-term capital gains, and I always out of that check, I'll probably withhold about 20% of that.
Okay. So you'll pay about 20% in tax.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
it depends on your tax bracket, and that is a short term. I mean, that's a long term capital gain because
Okay.
because we had own that for for more than a year.
Okay. Thank you.
Jessica, we just had to send in, we just had to send in a quarterly federal tax return the other day. I said, good morning to Claudia. She said, by the way, we're sending $27,000 to the IRS this quarter.
Oh, no.
That doesn't even include the Colorado state tax.
And it just has to be factored into your numbers,
Yeah, you
when
got-
Sure.
yeah.
buy and hold versus fix and flip. That's one of the reasons I haven't done as many fix and flips. I try to buy and hold because
Mhm.
you can defer that tax or do a 1031 exchange so that I
Or
don't have
you
to
can-
pay that capital gain.
Right.
But you don't get the lump of money, but you build more equity. So it's just another strategy.
You've got to
And then you
factor in
go-
your taxes, when your expenses and what's the worst thing? You got this one profit in your mind, and then all of a sudden you get surprises. Oh no, I didn't know I had to pay this and this, and then you've got to factor everything in, don't you,
Right.
Kerry?
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely.
And then you take a little bit for yourself, to have fun with, and
Oh,
then you take a
absolutely.
little, and then you take a little bit, to put away for, for a retirement, and then some of that, I pay down my, my credit cards and my credit lines, bring everything back to zero, to do it again.
Yeah.
It's such a really good good common sense advice. You know, what was it you said to me earlier this morning? You always keep, like the richest man in Babylon, you keep 10% for yourself or something like that, right?
You pay yourself first. You always pay yourself first.
Yeah.
Always.
Good stuff here. Can you share some of your other deals with us from last year?
Well, you know, just that roundhouse, you know, it was a little 2-2 roundhouse. It was actually a house down from where we have another house. And, you know, we paid 90,000 for that one, put about 30 in it, and we sold that one for 215 cash.
How do you sleep at night? Very well, probably.
I mean, they're not all home runs, but, you know, but it's just,
Yeah,
you know, the way this
right.
market is, you know, in the area.
I got a question, Carrie. How long you've been doing this for? How long? How long you been in real estate for?
I've been an investor off and on for about 20 years.
Okay,
I was
so
a real estate broker. I
Okay.
owned my own company in Florida for about 10 years.
Okay. So you got a lot of experience. You've done this before. You know, you got a good feel for things. So from all
You
your
know,
experience.
I mean, they're not all home runs.
Sure. Sure.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. You want to get the singles, doubles, triples, and the home runs. You gotta, I get it.
Yeah.
Wow, 20 years doing that. So would you say one of the key that you found is get your own line of credit, get your own funding, besides getting the deals? You want to make sure you got the cash available. Is that what I'm hearing? So you can buy these?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so without that, you really, you know, so I think a line of credit is very important. I found that out too. Once you have that, you can do so much more with it. I'm a licensed agent in Arizona. Do you come to
Okay.
Arizona? You come to Arizona to buy anything? Let me know. I'll be glad to look for some stuff for you.
Okay. You know, and I've used HELOCs in the past.
Right.
You know, those are helpful. You know, credit cards.
Definitely.
Right.
I'm still looking for private, you know, I'm still trying to find some private investors, but, you know, I try to keep it private for now.
I normally charge 10%. Do you pay 10% to realtors? I'm very high, I'm very expensive, so I'm very good. Would you pay 10%?
I don't know. Carrie's a heck of a negotiator, I gotta tell you.
Okay. Well, he was laughing, so we'll have to get into his emotions and find where they're at.
Which is a good, Carrie, you are a very good negotiator. You and I have been doing role plays and stuff like how important is share with the folks some of your negotiating strategies. You've got a really unique viewpoint on negotiation.
Well, you know, I try to be firm, but fair, you know, and you try to make it a win-win, you know, like a win-win situation.
Yes. Reciprocity.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can make money and help people, right?
Oh, yeah.
I truly
Absolutely.
believe that. Doesn't have to be one or the other.
You know, you don't want to take advantage of people.
Yes.
You try to be fair.
Yes.
And, you know, just try to, you know, sniff out the best deal, you know, the best deal you can. And
Very
And
if,
people come back to you when you're fair and you treat them well. They come back for another deal.
you know, and just like what Claude says, if the deal doesn't work, fire them and move on.
Bye-bye.
You know, because there's
Let's
always
do a
lot
quick
of-
role play. I just want to hear that one line that you always use. Carrie, I'll sell you my house for $200,000.
Sorry, but you're going to have to do better than that.
Well, really, that's kind of I mean, that's a pretty fair price. You have that one line I love that you used. Is that the best or something like that?
Is that the best you can do?
You mean, you mean if I come down a little bit or something, you're ready to do a deal today? Make a commitment?
Well, what's your time commitment? What, you know, when do you want to move?
Well, we're ready packed. We got the U-Haul outside. We're going to move to East Bumble, Oklahoma as soon as we can.
So what you're saying is if we could do business today and I wrote you a check for 160,000, do we have a deal today?
Wow, the 200 to 160. Could we make it 175 at least?
That's as high as I can go.
Wow. I mean, you're really beating me up, man.
Well, I'm going to give you cash. You're already packed up. you know, your kids are ready to go. You've all, you know, I'm sure you've already got them enrolled in school.
Well, that's one of the things we have to do. You're right.
But, you know,
I tell you what, that's a little bit more than I want. I'd like 175 and you want 160. Could we meet in the middle at least?
you know, 160 as high as I can go.
How fast can you close?
I can close in 3 days.
You're not going to tell me you don't have the money or the bank's is real slow or something like that?
I can send you proof of funds today.
And you can close by when?
3 days. Let's say Friday morning.
You can close for $160,000 by Friday. You got a deal.
Okay, sounds good.
Give him a round there. That was he just saved $40,000. Where was his strength? Where did his strength come from?
He held his
firm.
ground.
You didn't move.
He held his ground, but what was he using to get me to drop $40,000 in price? What did he do?
Cash.
Yeah.
Cash. And what else? What about
Close in 3 days.
Quickness, speed.
Yeah.
speed? 3
Speed.
days. Cash and speed. Are those powerful negotiating tactics?
Mhm.
Hell yes.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Mhm.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
Claude, I like your one when you talk about when someone gives you a number, like you said 200,000. I would have said, you know what? I would have probably said, man, I mean, that's a great number for you, you know, but I got a problem for you with that number. You know, I'm probably gonna have to go, you know, on this, but do you want me to tell you the truth about that $200,000 number, or do you want me to make you feel good about it? That's what I would have done probably. And I would say, you know what? Then you would talk, and I would just say, hey man, I'm a licensed real estate agent in Arizona. I noticed from the assessor's map, they're going between 150 to 160. So why is your property $40,000 for more than what I'm seeing?
Oh,
I
well,
would've probably-
we have new toilet seats in all the bathrooms. I mean, I really put a lot of money into those toilet seats.
Okay. So that's gonna be worth about 40,000. Okay. So I would have just had you talk a little bit more and then brought it down. But I mean, Carrie, you were right to the point, which is really cool. Good stuff.
To me, when I said to Kerry that we're moving, the van is
Right.
loaded and everything, and he said he can close by Friday. That to me is like, gee, it'll be done. We need the money. We need to buy a new house. I've had, maybe I didn't, you know, if we did a longer role play, maybe I would have shared with Kerry that we had, it fell out of escrow. We had a lot of people who didn't qualify. We've been wasting time with realtors and looky-loos for 90 days. And maybe Kerry hit that hot button with me. I got the money. I can send you proof of funds. I can close by Friday. That's powerful to me.
It was under 3 minutes.
It was under 3 minutes. Joseph and Helen, you make your first deal. You get a 3-minute timer, an autographed 3-minute timer.
Autographed.
I got this idea from my honeymoon. I brought 2 of them though. I'm sorry, I got to recycle these old jokes. There's Ben holding up his timer.
Not
Very
mine.
good. Carrie, you're a wealth of information. What would you one more? I hope you don't mind us picking your brain here, but what would you tell a new investor just getting started? They love hearing your story, seeing your check. If you were just starting all over again, what advice would you share?
Well, one is, you know, education is very, very important. Find a mentor, you know, someone that can help you, and never let anyone tell you that you can't do it, because you can. You know, you have to believe in yourself, you know, because, you know, you're going to have realtors, attorneys, title companies.
Can I ask a question on that?
Well, let him finish first.
Okay.
But you know, just don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it, because you can.
Go ahead, Dave.
I just wanted to ask a question, because when you said find a mentor, you have a gentleman here who has 20 years experience, has made a lot of money, but yet he felt the need to work with somebody like you. And what does Claude bring to the table for you? Just out of curiosity, how he's helped you.
I'll send you a check for asking this question later. Okay. Thank you.
I'm just saying, you know, from when you're talking to somebody new is one thing, but when you got somebody who's a 20-year guy, he felt value in what Claude brought to the table for you, and I was just curious.
Right. Well, you know, Michael Jordan had a coach. You know, Tiger Woods had him as a coach. You know, I felt like I needed a little more work in my negotiation skills. You know, Claude has a system. I used to do a lot of lease purchasing, and I just want to up my game. You know,
That was a key thing you just said, because on Monday you were talking about systems. So
Yeah.
you know,
I was just
I-
curious. Thank you.
I mean, I've gone through a lot of systems, you know, and there's a lot of the guys that have come, you know, come and come, but you know, but Claude's been around for a very, very long time, and I've watched.
I'm not that old. Yes, I am.
That's NICK when you make the checkout, Claude.
Kerry, what do you see for, so a person, an entrepreneur working with his significant other, you said you and your wife talk to people. That to me was
Yeah.
huge. I love, you have three things I'm taking away, just to reiterate them for everybody watching. You had the funding in place. Okay, which is great. If you're not doing creative deals, you have the funding for cash deals. That's very powerful.
Yes.
You put your realtors to work in your backyard, and you and your wife talk to people on a fairly, you talk to a lot of people on a daily, weekly follow-up kind of system that you're using.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That to me, and you're able to work from home and put mac and cheese on the table.
Right. Yes, definitely.
What's the possibilities for an investor working from home, doing what you're doing? What are the income, round numbers? What are the income possibilities for an investor who follows a system like you and your wife?
I mean, you know, the sky's the limit. You know, you can make as much as you want. You know, but you got to put the effort and time in.
How much time do you put, like the deal you were sharing with us, the first deal, the $120,000 check? Round numbers, how many hours do you think you had to put into that deal?
What, to actually negotiate it, or like
getting the deal, getting it into a contract, and then you had to remarket it, of course.
Yeah. That was about a 6-week deal. And the funny thing about that deal was, my realtor, she was really bad. Well, you know, she needs to take a course, but his realtor was there, and me and my handyman, you know, because my realtor told me that when the clients come in, that we need to leave. So we actually left. We went outside. You know, my handyman, he went to lunch, and I stayed and sat on my car. Well, the guy came out and started talking to me and started negotiating with me. And I said, shouldn't you go get your realtor? And he goes, no. And she was kind of standing right there. And so he started, you know, 180, 190, you know, 205. And I said, you know, he was a cash deal, and see up there, it takes a very long to get an appraisal, like 2 months, you know, and banks
Wow.
are taking, you know, because they're backed up. But he was cash, so I finally got him to 225, and then we got another 5 because he wanted more flooring. So actually, I negotiated the deal. But from contract to close, it was about 6 weeks. But
Okay.
the realtors
You put in your time on this deal. It didn't happen magically in 2-3 hours. You put in a lot of time into this deal.
No, it was probably on the market for 30 days before I had to get my tenant out. And then we had, to fix it up.
Okay.
And I'd say, probably, 2 months,
Okay.
from the time that I got my check.
Last question. What do you think? What do you think about 2022? What's your crystal ball say? Same thing, better year, worse year?
Conservatively optimistic.
Conservative, cautiously optimistic?
Yeah, conservatively optimistic.
Okay. Do you see the interest rates going up, the inflation that we always talk about, having an effect on housing demand and construction?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. You
Is
know,
that
'cause
gonna
I-
help is that gonna make you more money and less deals? Or do you see yourself doing the same How many deals did you say you did last year?
We've done 6 transactions. We got one house that we're finishing up next month, and hopefully we can sell that one. Then we're probably going to build one, flip that one, and then we're going to slow down. Start looking for more of the like the buy and hold stuff. Creative financing. Because I think the banks are going to start pulling back a little bit.
Raising
Okay.
rates. Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to monopolize you for 30 minutes here, but I love listening to other people because it's so real. We hear a lot of stuff, but you never know, is it true? Are they bragging? Is it, and here, when we have somebody live on the camera, it's righteous information. It's good stuff. And thank you so much. Can you take 1 or 2 quick questions, or should we let you go?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You guys, anybody have a quick question for Mr. Kennedy?
I
Yeah,
do.
Go ahead, Ben.
Mr. Kennedy, what do you feel differentiates you or keeps you competitive?
Education,
Okay.
honing your craft.
Mhm.
We're on vacation now, and I took a bunch of books. I got my old Carlton Sheets course with me. Ron LeGrand, Claude Diamond, who's that guy? Constantly reading up on new things.
Mhm.
I have a general contractor. I'm always picking his brain. To see what's new and and trending and what's going on.
Thank you, sir.
So Kerry, I got a question first. So basically, a lot of your deals come from realtors. So you don't actually talk to the buyers and sellers that much, do you? I know you talked a little bit about it, but isn't most of your marketing with just the realtors bringing stuff to you and then you put it on the market to sell through them? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, and then sometimes I do negotiate my own deals.
Okay.
Because sometimes the realtors up there, they're not very aggressive.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
And sometimes I'm training them what to do and and what to say and what to put in the contract. But you're right, about 50%, 50% of the time. Because a lot of the deals up there, they list them with realtors. And if you go on Craigslist, sites like that, there's really nothing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was just gonna say, you're into education. When you have that realtor that's not pulling their rope for you as much, you should break out the consulting package and train them
Right.
up a little bit and get paid for it.
Yeah, well, that's true. But sometimes, I ask them if they want to be on the team and, what are you going to do? And, sometimes they don't want to be on the team anymore. And then I go find someone else because I had a realtor that I used for those 6 deals. Her and I kind of had a falling out. And so now I'm trying to find a new realtor.
Yeah.
You're in
That
you're in
might be the new
Florida
realtor calling you.
You're in Florida right now on vacation for the winter. Are you going to be doing deals on vacation in your backyard? And where are you in Florida, Orlando or something?
I'm in Wellington, Florida. It's a suburb of West Palm Beach.
Okay. Oh, beautiful area. Is that Dade County or something?
That's Palm Beach County.
Palm Beach County?
We lived here for 20 years before we moved to South Carolina. So, I know the area, but, just trying to get a lay of the land before I start making offers.
Yeah.
Could I-
Who else?
Can I
Jessica,
make a
go ahead.
comment? I just wanted to say, just to point out, you also had some good forward planning because you bought that property a year ago or more, you said, and then you
Yeah.
let it season and
Right.
then you sold it. So that's another good strategy, I think, for people. Get something. It's like putting a stew in those cooking pots, where they cook slowly. All you do is throw the stew in and you just walk away and leave it for a year or so. And then when you come back,
Right. Well,
you've made
actually,
$100,000, or more.
the realtor that sold me that house, she said that she told me that I would never get that for it.
Oh, So don't listen to realtors too much, right? Make sure
There's
you
your
have your
first
own
client.
gut feeling
There's your
there.
first client.
That's what I've learned the hard way a little bit.
My mentor always used to say, consider the source of the information you're taking.
So true.
It was just one of the most wisest things I've ever heard. Somebody who's giving you advice, who's
Yes.
maybe not affluent. I'm not trying to sound snobby here, but maybe they're not financially secure and they're giving you all this genius advice. Maybe that's not someone you should listen to.
Yeah.
Mr. Kennedy is somebody, however, you should listen to. And he did me I'm so grateful. He did me a personal favor by coming on here today and is sharing his story that he told me earlier today. And thank you so much, Kerry. I really appreciate you coming on here and sharing your time with us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Let's give him a round. Let's give him a guts round of applause here.
Very important, really.
Yeah. Isn't that great to look? I love listening to other people's deals and how they structured them, how they found the deal, how they financed it, and what kind of marketing and sales they did. Like Kerry. And my big thing that I heard that was music to my ears, they talk to people. Okay. And he lives in a rural area in North Carolina also, right? As I believe.
Yeah.
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 I'm in
We have a
Pine-
house. We have a house in Banner Elk, North Carolina, which is kind of like off of Boone, North Carolina. Yeah, that's our winter home, I guess.
So what I'm hearing is you live in Florida, you live in North Carolina, you live in South Carolina. I'm hearing
Right.
3 places here.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's kind of my wife and my lifestyle. We're in Colorado right now. Last year we were half the year in Pinehurst, North Carolina. Next month we're probably going to go back to San Diego for a while. And when you live in different areas, you learn the areas. You find your little pocket areas. You learn the prices of those areas. The values. Somebody brought up appraisals. How do you determine the price of properties when you live in an area? And you get in your car once. I get in my car and drive around once in a while and try to get a beat on, especially condos and things like that. You get a pretty good idea of what the prices are and what the appreciation is. And then so when something comes on the market, you can move fast. You got to know your prices too, don't you?
Yes. very
Absolutely. Any other sage advice you want to share before I let you go?
I would just get out there and do it.
Get out there and do it. Absolutely. Okay, let's move back to Ben, did you have a call? Your hand
No.
up? Okay. This is Role Play Wednesday. Thank you all for joining. We have a nice big group there. Jason Rector says, thank you, Kerry, in the chat box. If anyone wants to post a question or anything, right there. Kerry, can people contact you if they want to do a deal in Florida
Yeah.
right now or something like that?
You want me to give out my phone number?
If it's up to, or your email address or something like that, if you don't mind. If you don't, that's okay too.
It's 803-429-7235. That's my cell phone. I have that with me all the time.
Could you repeat it one more time?
803-429-7235.
I put it in the chat box for everybody who's
Oh,
coming
thank you.
on or watching
Kerry,
this later.
Kerry, I got one more question for you. Sorry to interrupt, Claude.
It's all right.
There's like 21 people on this right now. Do you have certain questions that you can help people that maybe are starting out, that they can, maybe when they call realtors, they can, hey, these are the questions that I would actually interview the realtor for? I mean, a lot of these people, if they had realtors they could work with, it would help them out. So
Yeah,
do you have
sure.
some questions, some strong questions, like here's some gut questions that I would ask them right up front, so you don't waste people's time? Could you find out if they can help people on this call? So could you maybe work with Claude, write some stuff down, and get it over to the group for people that might, how do I talk to realtors to try to
Sure.
get involved with realtors? You know?
Well, the main important, the main question to ask a realtor, save you a lot of time, is do you own your own investment property?
Oh,
Good question. Do you, to make sure that they are they've got an investor mindset? Is that what I'm
Yeah.
hearing? Gotcha.
Because they're not doing the, 20% down, paying retail.
I just
Maybe
wanted to
it's
show
100.
that check one more time for some of the new people who came on. This is what Kerry did. This was the check Kerry just received for one deal that he just did. Now that you made all this money, what are you gonna do? You're in Florida. You might as well go to Disneyland, right?
Right. Just, just relax and go to the beach.
How good is I always like to talk about the feeling of being self-sufficient, security, being able to go to bed and know you got that money in the bank account from your own ingenuity, the sweat off your own brow. How good does that feel to be independent, to be free, truly
Feels
free?
good. It really feels good.
Yeah.
It really does.
Okay.
Because I worked for someone, for a while.
We all have.
I don't think I would make a good employee anymore.
No. Do you think there's a reason all of us have had those jobs in high school, in college, when we grew up? We've had bad bosses, bad jobs. We weren't paid enough. We've had struggles in our lives and everything. Do you think it makes you appreciate it even more when you can run your own business from the kitchen table and live wherever you want and get yourself debt free? Do you think that gives you you got to go through those experiences to have a little gratitude, maybe?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
important. All right. Thank you once again. Do we have any questions or role plays we'd like to do today? Today is Role Play Wednesday. Anybody have a particular stall or an objection we'd like to work out today?
We have a question.
Go ahead, Joseph.
For example, the seller is texting, texting something, trying to text, and we respond, so please call us, and he disappears. How to get him back?
And it's quite often. As soon as you type, please call me, person will disappear.
Okay.
With technology, people feel more comfortable to text.
Does somebody else want to answer that question? You might know my answer. Go ahead.
Pick up the phone and talk to them. Just keep trying to get a hold of them. Just keep trying. Eventually, they're going to pick up the phone and talk to you. So keep trying.
I think they're talking about a response to a text
Oh,
right now.
oh, okay.
I would text. Quoting from Mr. Cialdini, I would take an authority type stance. I am ready to do business now. I need to speak with you at this number before 2:30 today to make an offer.
Okay.
I have the paper, something direct, authoritative, because from a seller's standpoint, seller gets there's a lot of gurus with a lot of seminars. What do you think it's like for the average seller of a property who has their phone number out there? What do you think it's like for them?
Get bombarded.
They're bombarded and they get a lot of Looney Tune, looky-loos, time-wasting people. They don't have any money. They have they're on a fishing expedition and they expect these people to stop their day. I've had these phone calls too, and they just think you can stop in the middle of your day and answer their questions for 45 minutes.
No, actually, we are talking about buyers. When we have a house for sale and people texting you with request of some information, as
Get on
soon
the
as
phone.
you get
You
Because
say,
they don't have any
call
money."
me right now. Call me before 2:30. I do not negotiate a deal through texting.
They don't have any money.
They don't have
and
the
it's
money,
kind of pre-qualification, yes.
right?
That's why
A lot of
that's
these
why
people
they're
who will
not-
be texting you are virtual assistants, acquisition managers. They're from the Philippines or India or something like that. They will not call you because they don't
Yeah.
want, they're not trained to do direct negotiation.
Yeah.
So you say, you need to call me now. That's what I would put in my text.
Okay,
If you
thank
got
you.
the-
Thank you
If
so
you got
much.
the time to text me, pick up the phone and call me. You want to do business. And what's the first thing? You get them on the phone. What's the first? Let's do a role play. Hello, yeah, I just texted you, Joseph and Helen. I'm very interested in your, I'm interested in your property.
Wow, you have such a nice voice.
Oh, thank you. So you do too. What's the first thing you qualify me for?
Money.
Go for it. Qualify me. Yes, I saw your ad and I'm very interested in your property. I'm an investor and I'm really interested in doing structuring a deal with you.
I'm ready to answer all your questions, but